Hello, everyone. Welcome to this new live session of Customily. Thank you for joining me this Thursday. We're going to get started right away. What is Customily? Most of you installed the app quite recently and are either getting started with your store from scratch or beginning the process of setting personalizable products on an existing store. For both cases, we have the perfect tools to get started. Great. Okay, so Customly is an app that provides your store with live previews of products, along with options that your customers can interact with, changing those live previews with every interaction. From text input to clip art selection, image upload, or font selection, your preview will change live and give you a realistic example of how your customization will look on the product. And that's not even that. Your customers will see the preview of the product with the customization, and you will see that too as a merchant, but you will also get the ready to print file. So if you want to fulfill this on your side or even send that to a POD for fulfillment, you will have that information on your hand every time someone purchases using the Customily options and checking out the live preview, that live preview will be taken as a picture for the merchant to revise, and also the print file with the exact information of the customization will be ready to print and fulfill. So that way you cut out the middleman, you reduce the back and forth mails and examples and revisions. You have everything in your hands right here on the front end for your customers to make the choices to select whatever they want, preview that, and purchase right away. And you will have all what it needs to fulfill that product. Now, this live preview, and you see here how we can type something like this. This live preview changes when you start typing something. You can change, for example, fonts for independent text, for both texts at the same time, anything you want. This live preview is done by loading a template on the page as well as the options. And these two elements are created in Customily. I have another example here. As you can see, this Weekender tote bag was created using Printify information, and you can actually type something and preview that. Okay, you see it changes automatically, as well as if I type something like this and change this to T, and it reduced like that. This, like I said, was a product that grabbed information from Printify and will be fulfilled with them, but this visual actually is mine, and I will going to be fulfilling that. So if you follow the steps of creating a template from scratch, you'll be able to automatically create the options using Customily and connect them to any of your existing products. As simple as that. Customily 2.0 is our latest update for Shopify stores, which allows you to create and publish personalized products easier, faster, and better than before. Those starting your stores from scratch will have more interest in this section because now you can choose a product directly from a print-on-demand supplier, add a design to it, and get it published in your Shopify store, all from Customily app. Also, with the print-on-demand providers that have an API connection, all the fulfillment processes will be automated. This means that once you receive a purchase, all the order details and the ready-to-print file will be sent to the corresponding POD provider automatically for fulfillment and shipping. So along as also using your existing products and connecting them templates, you'll be able to create new products, and those products can be created using our tools from scratch and also connecting to print-on-demand providers that you all know about. Now, another interesting feature for Shopify users is the free access to Customily's design libraries. This means you can find designs ready to use and sell, or you can use this exclusive clipart collection to create your own art. So we can say that there are four different paths you can explore with Customily 2.0. You can work with a print-on-demand provider who has its own product catalog and add a design from Customily's libraries to it. This is the fastest path, the one that allows you to have published products ready to sell in minutes. You can work with the print-on-demand provider, but choose to add your own designs to their products. In this case, you will have to populate your design library before being able to publish products in your store. On the other hand, if you have your own products and are not interested in working with a print on demand provider, the way to go is to start by populating your product based library first. And after you have your own product mockups, you can choose to add a design from Customity's library to them and create and publish products really fast. Or you can, of course, add your own designs to your own products. This is the path that takes more time, but once you have all your product mockups and all your designs set up, it's just a mix and match game, and you'll be able to create and launch new products really fast. If you check previous live sessions, you will see that we have covered all these four paths, as well as we have created templates from scratch and connecting them to existing products. There are a lot of examples across many live sessions. And depending on the live session, we may be exploring one or more of these. Today, we are going to be creating the products that we just saw, the Weekend Tote Bag and the Beach Ball. The Weekender Tote Bag is actually this case in which we are going to be taking the information from a POD supplier and adding our own art. Also, the beach ball actually is something we are going to fulfill on our own workshop, for example. So we want to create our own mockup and add our own design. Let's start from the beginning. Imagine I'm a Shopify store owner. I want to start selling personalized products and just install Customily to try it out. You will see there's an onboarding that will ask you two very important questions. The first question, actually something you already know or plan to know, is do you have already products in your store, or you have a brand new store? And that will take you if you want to create, if you want to go straight to your templates, or you want to start from the 2.0 tools, because you will be creating new products. Okay. The other question, very important, is if you're going to be using print-on-demand providers or you are your own provider. In that case, you'll be taken to a different path, but I encourage you to follow the onboarding, because it's going to give you a great first scope of what Customily is, give you a nice example, at least move you to start designing and playing around with the tool. But you will land in the first page in the starting menu of Customily. And you can see there are, on the left bar, we have 6 sections. The first 3 sections are shortcuts to the 2.0 tools, and the other 3 sections are the main core of Customily. You can explore, manage, and create your templates, upload and organize your assets in libraries, colors, fonts, vectors, and images, and you can see all your customized, all your connected products in the store section, as well as change many settings that will help you customize the front end experience of your customers. Since today we're going to be creating the products I showed you, we are going to start off here. This is the start section of Customily, and here we have access. When you create a new product, you will get access to the print-on-demand providers you may be using. You don't have to have them all, but if you have accounts with them, you are able to connect your API key to Customily and have the automatic fulfillment on all of those that have API connection. Also, you have direct access to your design libraries and your product-based libraries. Just a quick reference because we are going to get started with this. When you start off creating a new product, okay, you will see that there's also an existing product from store and will come in soon. Is we're building this site, and right now by coming here, you get access to your existing products. So don't worry about that. You can also click on products as well. But right now, the idea is to explore one of these print-on-demand suppliers. If we click on any of these, you'll be able to see the catalog. There are lots of products from many PODs, and we have all of them connected to the API in Customily. So you're able to click on any one of those and see the variants and the options and the providers. Now, we're going to be looking for the Weekender. I remember this one is the Weekender tote bag. Okay. And there's only one provider and one size, but in any case, if you have many variants or providers, you are welcome to check one of those, select as many variants as you need, and click next to go to the part when you select your design. And here we can pick from Customily designs. Remember, we have this exclusive collection of designs. There are many designs, many categories, many theme related, seasonal related designs, everything that you may want to check out. And you'll see, for example, that we have summer season. Remember, we are in the summer week, so we have summer designs where we're going to be having later fall again. And there are some particular occasions that we already have designs available as 4th of July as well. So feel free to to explore these galleries, these examples. But today I don't want to put any of these designs on my tote bag. I actually want to go back and pick one of my designs. And here's the cool part. And I'm sorry, I'm going to be jumping a bit ahead for those joining today. And this is my current design collection. I have a lot of designs, and we've actually been creating this together in the live sessions. And today, I'm not going to create a new design. I'm going to pick an existing one that I created for another product. Now, remembering when did I create this design in particular, I was creating a whiskey decanter and a cutting board, if I'm not mistaken. And I created this split initial plus name, this this monogram, and I'm going to use it again. Why? Because that's the advantage of having designs. Designs can be connected to any product at any time. So you can create as many products as you want using the same design. So you can have this split initial monogram on a decanter, on a cutting board, now on a tote bag. There's no limit on that. That's the advantage of having designs. So I'm just going to click here and create a brand new product. So this process takes about 1, maybe 2 minutes, depending on how many options the design has. But what Customily is doing is creating a new product on my store. This product will have the information from the tote bag that is sent over by Printify using the API. And it's going to put the design that I selected on the print area of the tote bag and on the preview of the tote bag, on the mockup. Having those two items connected makes the template. So that spinning you see here, that's the template, the brand new template loading. It's the combination of the product information and the design. So I have a unique variant, and I have this mockup that came from my print-on-demand provider. I'm going to type something like, I don't know, I would say, yeah, I have suggestions here, but I'm going to use T and like we tried before, yeah? I can keep playing around with the letters and see how long it is. You see, I have actually 12 characters available, so I may want and go like do like this. Okay, that's actually 8 characters, so I could keep adding up 12 characters, and I can save this image to be my new listing photo, because right now my standard listing photo is the one that Printify sent me over, and yeah, we don't like that, so we're going to just put this one. Actually is the one we're going to be using. Is the suggestion we have here. We're going to be using that. If you click on the preview, you will see how the preview looks, okay? And that same image, that preview you have here, you can actually save this to be your new listing photo, okay? One couple of extra things you can do here before we actually publish this and make it live in our store. We can edit some details of the product. For example, if you click here, you can change the name of the product, change the price. Let's put this, I don't know, 19. Change the description and call this the live session weekender toolbar. Yeah, or yeah, monogram toolbar. I like that better. So I'm going to save this information of the product. This is just a shortcut to something that you have on Shopify, and you can go to your Shopify backend and add more images and change whatever you want about the SKU, about the price, about the tags, change the collections that is connected, everything like that. Okay, so I'm going to publish this right now, and you will get the new product right away with the listing photo that you created, just personalizing the options to play with that, the chance to play with that. I have my zoom at full, but I know some may not be seeing much. I may make it bigger, but it will involve some scrolling. I hope you don't mind. Yeah, I just want to make sure people get to see everything. Great. So as fast as that, we grab an existing design we had, we grab a product from our print-on-demand supplier, and now we have a brand new product in our store, ready to sell. Just as simple as that. Okay, and if we check the backend of Customily, we're going to see, well, we were left taken back to the beginning, but we can actually go to templates. Remember that these three sections are meant to manage the core elements of Customily. If I click on templates, I'll be able to see all my template files, the ones that load on the front end of my store. Let me go to the last page where I can find the last one. And this one is the one that I created. I can actually edit this and check out how Customily made this for me and save me a lot of time. Because you can do this manually. Yes, you can start a template from scratch and you can check out our live sessions that are dedicated to those cases. You can create a template from scratch and put it on your existing products. Just need to make sure that you cover the steps of a template. The first step will be the print file, and that is the print area that your product needs. In this case, the tote bag needs a big print area because it's a wraparound. It's an all-over print, and the monogram, the design, Customily will place it right where it should be printed on one side. Okay, but here you can set up any print area you need, any design you want, and create your own customizable design and all your customizations in one place. Why? Because this is our design studio. It works for templates, it works for designs as well, and has all the tools you need to start creating with Customily. Now, if you check previous live sessions, you will see that we have used pretty much all these tools, and sometimes we use one, two, or combine them. But just so you know, you can create text boxes, curved or straight, and these are items that your customers will have the chance to input their own text. That will show up here, and you'll be able to change fonts, colors, alignments, anything that you want at all. Also, what you can create in your customization is placeholders, images or vectors, depending what your customers may want to upload. Because placeholders are objects meant for your customers to upload their own images in products such as photo collage and those that involve uploading your files and rearranging your photos. Those are placeholders. You can also create maps in which you can select your location, any custom location with a lot of styles for colors and details. And the same goes with star maps. Star maps, you need to actually select the location and the date, and has a lot of of colors and possibilities. These tools are really cool. But one really amazing tool we have in Customily, and you have seen that before, you will be seeing that in future live sessions, is the dynamic images and vectors. These objects can hold many, many images inside. And as long as you have two or more, you can make that a choice. But I'm not going to trouble you with that because we're going to create one of these when we are going to be doing the ball. Okay, so right now what we're going to do is just explore how Customily created our tote bag. When you click next and you go to the second step, you see that the design is placed on the front end of a photo, a product image. In fact, I can just hide or show this. Okay, and also our POD sent us a mask that depends on the product, but usually you have a mask which is like a super cool effect that will give you the realistic preview that you need for your product. Basically, you're printing the monogram and you're previewing on the product. That's what the template is all about. And before you save a template, you get a chance to see how the product will perform on the preview and on the print. You see that whatever your customer inputs on the front end will reflect directly on your print file. And that's all you need to make this work perfectly. Remember, the first product was created when you click here and you find the product in here. But what if I want to use my own product bases? When I click here, I'm actually accessing this collection here. And let's say I don't have the beach ball, so I'm going to create a new product base. When I create a new product base, I need to set a name. So live session beach ball, yeah. And how should I start with on the print area? Basically, the print area is whatever is printed about the product. Even if the ball is really big and of course doesn't have a particular square or rectangle shape, you know you're going to be printing the color part. And you know for a fact, because your machine works like that your print area is 250 by 125 millimeters, for example. Okay, so you know that whatever design is picked later in Customily, it has to fit this print area, this maximum print area. That's all you need to know about this first step of your base, of your product base. Very important, you need to set up how you want this to be printed. Customily exports in a lot of formats, vector and image, and you can change the resolution of the images or the color mode of the vector files. I'm just going to export in PDF. So now that we have the maximum print area all set up here, we are ready to go to the next step and select our mockups. Remember that this is the preview settings. This is where we set up the preview of that product. We don't have a design yet. We just have the base of the product. And once we select a design, the final live product is created. So right now what we need is to have product images. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to upload them all together. That's one way to go. Another way to go, and this is very important because later you may want to add more colors, is to, well, cancel this and create a library with those images. And we're going to do that because I want you to see how libraries work. I'm going to open another tab and navigate to libraries. Here you can see that we have color libraries, font libraries, vectors, and image libraries. The advantage of having information inside a library is that whenever you create a product working with a library, any changes to that library will reflect automatically on the product. So tomorrow I decide to add a purple beach ball, and I just upload the background image of the new color in my library, and every single product that I'm selling with the beach ball product will be updated. So let's say I have this as summer vacation beach ball, and I have another one that says party beach ball, and I have another one that says I don't know, has icons only as designs. I have like 6, 7 products on my store that use the same base but different designs. So if I update my beach ball library with a new color, I affect all those products at the same time. So it's a time saver and a great way to have all your assets organized. And let me show you by adding a new library called the beach balls. Okay. I should find the library on the last page. Yeah, like that. Beach balls. Yeah. And I'm going to edit this. Right now it's empty because I don't have any images. I just created the library. Imagine I don't have 5 colors. I have 50 colors. I may not want to show them here all together because 50 options can be kind of too crowded for the store. So I may want to create categories, okay? And each category will have, I don't know, 10 or 12 colors, and that's more nicer to the eyes. So when I go to my library and I know I have a lot of information and I want to split that into more useful categories, I just create categories. I will select a name for the category. I will upload like a thumbnail, and inside the category, I will start uploading my images. It's a great way to have things organized. And if you have seen our examples that have many cats and dogs and hairstyles, you will see that first you select the breed of the dog, and then you select the image of that dog. That's because the breeds are the categories and the actual dogs are the images. That's the logic behind having categories. I believe in the next live session, next Tuesday, we're going to be creating something from scratch using categories. But today, I just want to upload my beach balls. These ones, like that. Pay attention to the name here. If it's going to pull the name of the file, but you can change this later. Whatever you set up here will reflect later on the options. So having things in the right naming and the right order and position will save you time when you are customizing the front end. So right now I have this library all set and done. I'm going back, so it's closed now. And I can actually return to my product base and find my new library here, like that. This product images object is actually a dynamic image, and a dynamic image can hold many images inside. For example, right now, this one single object, but has in the first position the blue one, on the second position the green, the third the pink, and so on with the red and the yellow. Yeah, there's nothing on the 6th image, so that's the end of our selection. So now we have the product images. and we have the print area. And what we need to do basically to finish off our product base is to, oops, is to select the print area and resize it so it's going to fit the preview. I'm going to change the background color so I can actually see better the box. Yeah, that's better. So I may want to adjust this to showcase the best way possible. Okay. I also recommend that you shuffle through the images because, well, I recommend having identical images with different colors, but that's not always perfect. So just check out that everything is perfectly fitting, or at least it will fit for most. I think I was kind of in the middle of everything. Maybe you just need to I don't know, make it smaller or bigger. Right now it seems like everything is working perfectly. Yeah, it's fitting on all images. There's a boundary you can check. Okay. So now that we have our preview ready, we are ready to save our product base. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's check that later. And no worries. We're going to do the same without the library. Just like that. Okay. No, we want this to get angry with us. Finally, before saving the product base, you see it's pretty similar to the template. You have a production file view and you have a preview of what it's going to look like without any information, because in the end, all you need is the area where the design is going to be placed, how it's going to print, and how it's going to look. And that's all you need. You can save this product base right now. Very important, because we added these different color images. Customily detected color variants and presented them here before you save. You can actually rename them if you want to. Maybe that's what I got the message. I actually needed to make sure that the color variants were created. Okay, and this is very interesting because this will become later the variants of the product. So if instead of colors you have sizes, you can actually change later the prices of those variants, because bigger products involve higher costs. But right now, well, we are just going to be changing colors, but we are changing them using the variants and not using any customly option inside here. We meant to make sure that whenever you select a variant, you're obviously controlling your stock, and that's why you need variants. And we're going to save this with this addition to our brand new product that will be created when we select a design. Now I don't have a design for this ball, so I'm going to create one. I'm going to the Start menu, and before I'm ready to create the product, I need a design. So I'm going to create a brand new design. Maybe my future designs for future products related to the beach ball will have the same different content, but the same size. So I'm going to put this the live session summer vacation. Yeah. Create the design. And by default, Customily starts with a square area, a square canvas to create your designs. But we can resize this. We're going to do that to what we know will fit the print area of the ball. Okay. Now I can have a design that has a text box, and I can have a design that has a placeholder. I can even have a design that has a map. I mean, that's entirely up to you. You're free to create everything. In fact, you can have many designs with the same print area and a lot of options, and then combine each one with the product base we just created, and that will give you a lot of new products in your store. Right now, what I want is I want a space for the name, okay? And the space for the name, I will say, let's try with something. That I don't like the font, okay? This is actually well, I can check the font right there. Remember, this is just for testing. It's an area meant for you to play around and see how long words will fit on the design and the print area and how they will look with your font. And for that, you open the character tab. Okay, and here you can select the font. I actually have a lot of fonts, but if you don't have much, just click here to upload from your computer. You can manage the size of those text elements. So if I were to type here 100, now it's bigger, yeah. And if I keep typing, yeah, I'm going to start typing, 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 typing. You see when you reach the end of the box, it's going to start to shrink. It's going to shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink. When will this stop? Basically, when you reach the minimum size. And you can see, okay, which one is the minimum size is this one. Now, that's pretty small for a beach ball, and it's not going to print well. So we need to make sure that the minimum size is something that will still be printable and attractive. I don't know, like that. And so eventually, if you keep typing, you stop seeing characters because you reach at the end of the box and the minimum size. I want to add some fonts here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new font library. That way we're going to get to see how to do this. First, add a new library. We're going to call this summer vacation. Okay, create. I'm going to edit this. And because fonts are stored in our database inside Customily, once you upload them, you're welcome to use them any way you want, anything you want. So you could actually have the same fonts on different libraries, but just changing one or the other. So there's no no limitation on that. And as well, you can add the categories if you have many fonts. But right now, I'm going to just add them. So when I come here, I select the font from my list, or I upload from my computer. So let me see if I have at least a font here to play with. So you see, okay, yeah. So I'm uploading to the database, okay, and now I get to see all of them here. Yeah, I don't know why it wasn't. And I can start adding fonts. I select a font and I add that to the library, or I upload them and then I find them here, like the one I just uploaded, the Men in Black here. I'm not going to be using that one actually. I'm going to use one called Aloha and create that font here. The font is called Aloha, but because depending on the TTF file, you may not get the original name. We just put this to be designated font 1. But I can double click here and type Aloha like that. Very important to keep this named correctly because it's going to reflect here later on those tooltips that show up. Saves you a lot of time. Okay, add another font. We're going to pick a few more. For example, Amithen. Yeah. Create that font. We're going to create now, I'm going to select Avantgarde, create that font. A couple more. I remember I wanted to use this one, yeah, create that font. And then I selected the one called Chloe and the one called Gog. Okay, let's finish up with this brusher. And now I have 6 fonts on my library, and that's all I need. So back, so we close the font. Sorry, we close the library. Go back to our design, and now I'm ready to pick that library for my collection, like this. First option that we'll see is Aloha. Then we're going to see Amiten, then avant-garde, then pressure, Chloe, and go. Okay, put this a bit bigger. I don't know if it's going to be any bigger, but some of them may be a bit bigger. So just keep testing them to see how they look. And this is the name. We're going to call this name or message because you may want to type your name or your family name. That will be our first option. And the second one is exactly the same as this. So I may just hit the Control C and the Control V. And this one's going to be the summer vacation. Why do I name this like this? Because I want this to always say summer vacation. I always want this to show as summer vacation. Okay. Just let me make this a bit bigger. Okay. And I have some alignment tools here that I can play with. So I'm going to center this vertically, maybe drag it not to the center because I think it's going to be too crowded. But you can, with the arrow keys, you can just scroll them down, one and the other one up. Okay. I think that, okay, it's okay if they're all up, depending on, you may want to test that with many, the ones that have, I always recommend testing with capital letters, with the letters, the characters that drop down, like the G, the J, changing different, like this, right? So you want to make sure that even the biggest ones will not collide. So it's nice to use this moment, this design moment, to test out everything you want. Okay. Having said this, I wanted to tell you that I want this to always say summer vacation. So when we are finished with this design, we're going to force this text so it doesn't change. And you only have to change this, but you want to change the fonts of 2 of them. So I'm going to save the design. And after you get your design saved, the options that control that design are created by Customily automatically. And you can check them because right now, once you finish your design, you are in this area where you see all your designs and you get to edit the options. Why do you want to edit the options? Because you want to do that right away and not later when you have a product live on your store and you realize that you wanted to do some option changing and customization. So I come all the way here, okay, and oh, I forgot something really interesting. This visual will not print in black. So, oops, really quick. I come back to my design, and after I select the font, like we did, and the sizes, I can actually select the color. I can have color libraries or options of many colors, or in this case, because I intend to only print in white or close to white, I'm going to assign that. Oh. Okay. Usually there's a okay, that's pretty well. Yeah. Save it. Okay. And same with that. I'm going to put that color. Yeah. Like that. So let's save it. I'm going to save. We just changed the color. We're not going to change anything about the options. The options are the fonts, so no worries. But I actually totally forgot about that. So now that I have the design with the right color, I'm going to check the options. Customily created this for us really fast. And you see here I have the library of the fonts, the font swatch. That means that if I add more fonts, this will update and the product will update. Having libraries is a great way to update a lot of things together at once. So my message, if I open this, these are the 4 options available. To type the message, to select the font, to type the summer vacation text input, and select the font. When I open any of these, I have more choices. I can change this to be a message. double point. And I can suggest something like a name and an apostrophe because we are actually suggesting something that will be related to the summer vacation. Set a maximum length of characters, perhaps 16 would be nice, and or not, that's entirely up to you. And the rest is all working perfectly well for Customily. Then you select the font and check out what Customily did. Customily actually created the options for you, created the thumbnails, and made sure everything works with the text. Saves you a lot of time. Now, about this summer vacation text, we definitely want this to be a fixed value. So we, instead of a placeholder, which is a suggestion, we are going to be using this place here called the initial value. This means that when you load the product for the first time, this will show up by default. And what's stopping your customers from removing this and putting something else? Well, what's stopping them is the fact that they can see this input, this text input. But if they can't see that with this checkbox here, then you don't have to worry about anything. They will see this value, but they cannot change it. What they can change is the font. As simple as that. If you want to force a text content without your customers being able to change that, just set the initial value, hide the option from the customer, and it will show the value at the beginning. Having done that, we're going to save the option set, and well, now we want to create the product. So start, create new product, select not from a POD, but from my product bases. And here is the product that we created, the product base we created. So we select the product base, and guess what? We have five variants. I'm going to select them all. Okay. If I select one less, it's not going to show the yellow option, and it's not going to show the yellow image. Just these four. I'm going to pick them all. Once you pick your variants, we're going to put a Customily design. It's okay. But I want to show you that it's possible. So even if you create your own product base, because you're your own fulfillment, you're free to use this any way you want in your products. So maybe you have your own mug printer and you create your product base of your mug and you put these designs. That's perfect because we actually have designs for mugs. I don't know, just a quick example of something that you will use Customily designs for. If you don't want these designs, go find your live session summer vacation one here. Clicking on your design will start the process. A brand new product, a brand on your store with the listing photo, the variants, and in the print area, Customily will put the design, and on the preview, the design will show up on the ball, just as we set it up. Almost there. You see, our options are loading just as we customized them. We have the suggestion of this name. We have the font selection for both the message and the summer vacation. Changing this will change that. Okay, and typing something without the caps, like this, for example, will change that. And guess what? Changing the variants will change the background image. Okay, and I'm going to keep this as my new listing photo. Yeah, so I'm going to click here like we did with the tote bag. It's the same interface, only we created a product that is not connected to a POD. It's just there on our store. We can edit the product details like the name and the variants and just preview this again and publish. There you go. That's the listing photo, but that's all we can do here. Going yellow, yeah, and typing like this, pretty stylish. And this product, well, you will need to go to Shopify, set a price, set a collection, uh, start the search engine optimization and everything. Put it right there on the spotlight. But instantly you get the product base, and I could just create a new product, find my beach ball again, okay, find my variants, and just pick anything from my collection again and again and again and again, and create as many products as I wish, as fast as you just saw in 2 minutes. I saw a question right while I was explaining this, asking how can we connect our API keys. That's really fast, actually. You see here on the top that you have a navigation bar with 4 options. This will show the products on your store. The ones connected to Customily and the ones with this checkmark are not connected and are your regular products. You can find any product here and see what template is connected, what options are connected, and be able to manage anything about any product at any point in your store. So this pillow is loading this template, loading these options, and any changes you want to do, just save it and be back to the main list. This is how you connect your templates to your products, your existing products. And if I check out the ball, I will find that I have, well, this is the visual that I showed you at the beginning. This is the one that we just created. If you don't see this at the beginning, just sync to show the last changes in your store. If you go to settings here, you will get a lot of things to play with. And this tab, integrations, is the one you need. Here you have a drop down of all our PODs, and you can just select one, add it to your list of integrations, and here you are able to input the API key and save your settings. If you don't know where to find your API key, just click here and you will go right to our help center to guide you with images to where you need to pick that up. After you have everything, save it, of course, and you will now be fully integrated for an automated fulfillment. You're always welcome to ask us more questions at our email, support@customily.com. Open a live chat with our agents over the app, and join our Facebook communities. But there's a lot of feedback there, a lot of sharing tips and information and how to do. And it's great to check out them to see examples and see what's trending. That's a lot of things to to explore in our Facebook communities. And well, that's all for today. I thank you again for joining this new live session, the first one of June. I will see you next Tuesday with brand new products and ideas. Next Tuesday, remember, we're going to be doing a one-on-one, step-by-step installation of the app, setting up your API, setting ups, starting with your libraries and creating a template, checking your products. We're going to be doing a brand new from the beginning, just fresh install. I thank you all and see you next week. Have a great weekend.